Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God is great. It is such a pleasure to be back with the CCC congregation today. Greetings to the First Lady and to Reverend Bernard, who is not just an inspiration in this city, in this state, but he is an inspiration and a gift nationwide. Let's give him a round of applause and show him our appreciation. I'm going to speak very quickly today because the Reverend said I have 5 minutes. And I said, Reverend, if I go past 5 minutes, are you going to give me the hook? The Reverend said, oh, of course, Andrew, I would never do that. I've known you a long time. We're friends. However, a great evil may befall you. Eternal damnation is a great motivator. So my point today is that we live in dangerous times. I've been in public service a long time. I started when I was in my 20s with a gentleman named Mario Cuomo. I don't know if you remember him. And I have seen a lot, but I'm worried. We see a growing social divide in this country. We see voices of anger, we see voices of fear, and they are defeating fairness and common sense. I know firsthand how dangerous and toxic these extremes can be. You have the cancel culture on the far left. You have election deniers on the far right. They are the minority, but make no mistake, they are loud and they are powerful. And too many politicians fear the extremes. And they either pander to them or they are paralyzed by them. Pandering or paralysis. A government of overreaction or inaction. You see it here, but you see it all across the country. We see it on the issue of crime, increasing gun violence, which is out of control. And yes, we have seen terrible police brutality with George Floyd and many other innocent victims. And yes, we need serious reform of the police department, but calls to defund the police are just disconnected from reality. Maybe if you live in a Manhattan high-rise and you have a security guard and a doorman, maybe crime isn't an issue. But otherwise, when you hear someone coming through the window in the middle of the night and you dial 911, you want someone to come. Victims of crime are overwhelmingly black and brown, over 75%. Businesses are leaving the city. People are afraid, once again, to walk outside on the street at night. They're afraid to get in the subway. We have a migrant issue. 130,000 migrants in New York City. Now, it's a hot political potato, so the federal government and the state government want to have nothing to do with it, and they left it to New York City. But how can New York City handle 130,000 migrants? Mayor Adams is right. The city can't bear the burden alone. Their latest plan is to build a tent city for 7,000 migrants on Floyd Bennett Field. Floyd Bennett Field is an old airstrip. It's a floodplain. It's a transportation desert. It will effectively isolate thousands of migrants who need our help and deserve our help. Matthew 25, Deuteronomy 27. And it's going to cost taxpayers millions of dollars. It defies common sense. We have growing racial divisions. We have growing anti-Semitism that is only going to get worse. We have an affordable housing crisis. We have a homeless crisis. Worse than anything I have seen in my life, and I started working with the homeless when I was 20 years old. We have people arguing for the civil rights of the homeless mentally ill to sleep on the street so they can eat from garbage cans, rather than advocating for real treatment that they need. That's not progressive philosophy. That is regressive philosophy. Is that really what the Lord would have us do to help these poor, unfortunate individuals? And all this is happening in a post-COVID world with Zoom and remote work, where people don't have to live in New York anymore. You know, you can actually move. You can move anywhere. You can even move to a place where you don't have to shovel snow. You know, there are options. So this is a critical moment. And yes, we have challenges. But you know what? We have always had challenges. And we have faced worse challenges. We went through 9/11. We had fiscal crises. We dealt with the killer COVID crisis, and we did it alone as New Yorkers, and we made it through. The difference is that we know that we must handle these situations intelligently and competently, not emotionally or politically. We solve problems together. We use the churches. Matthew 7, when you build on rock. The church is the rock in the community. Partner with businesses, partner with not-for-profits, but we're all working together. That's how we make it work. That is in our DNA as New Yorkers. But every New Yorker has a role to play. And now it is time for people of goodwill and common sense to speak up and get involved. Remember, most politicians are like weather vanes. They point wherever the political wind blows. And now the extremist forces are blowing us off course. Remember what Thomas Jefferson said, we don't have government by the majority, but by the majority who participate. Remember, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent on the things that matter. And my friends, what's going on today matters. It matters right now. Now is the time for your voice as a citizen, as a congregant, as a member of the community, to speak up and to speak out loud and proud for the future of the city of New York. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the entire congregation.